Is it a different basin? I mean, we had EGC basin last
Yeah,
time.
it looks like the regular version of Basin. Um, but which also kind of weird because we should also have that. Okay, let's pause for a second. Um, can you see my share screen?
Let me check real quick.
So we can just observe it via like you can see that.
Oh, there it is. Basin. I didn't have it. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have just basin.
Gotcha.
There we go. All right.
Okay,
I'm good.
so
I've got, yeah, EGC basin. And I've
okay.
got RBW basin, but not basin
Ah,
basin.
the Red Bull Volodol. Okay. Alrighty. Well, there we have it. So KnockKnock playing the Ruse against Warsp1te with the Ayyubids on Basin. So one of the first maps that we saw, or actually the first map that we saw this day. Um, as well as with the Ayyubids again. Last time it was the Byzantines against the Ayyubids. So gotta see probably kind of like a blend of the first two games that we witnessed, I would say, with a Ruse Pro Scout into Fast Castle Ayyubids.
Yeah, uh, certainly an option here. It does look like on normal basin that the sacred sites are moved a little further away from those spawns.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I must be used to EGC where it's basically right on your TC.
Yeah, yeah. There are some maps where it's like in your base almost, where like sometimes it's even annoying that you have to walk like to work around it. In a sense, if
Hmm.
you're like an Aachen Chapel, Grand Winery, whatever you want, yeah, sometimes can be really, really annoying. But yeah, it's kind of like even spawns here for the sacred sites, kind of like in the middle of both players, in between. And so yeah, it could be like more in play in a sense, but I mean, and then again, like both players, like both civs, are not really known for, going for a sacred victory in a sense. Double hunting cabin opener, 3 scouts already. So yeah, I would say this definitely looks like a pro scout build, and I also think that Ruse is the best civ for going for pro scout build anyway, just because of the hunting cabins.
I mean, it's debate. I mean, China and Zushi are pretty good at that. You get the supervised stable, supervised mill, and I like French just because you do have School of Cav produces scouts faster, and the Pro Scouts tech itself is cheaper with the
Mm.
French. A lot of options though. I mean, yeah, having the additional scouts come out of those hunting cabins uh, is a pretty big boon to the Rus. And yeah, no surprise to see that the Golden Gate is gonna be our first landmark.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the reason why I think that Roost is one of the best for pro scout is because they can get the scouts already on the field. But yeah, I mean like the civs you mentioned, like especially with the supervision, like I'm not really like practiced in the ways of Chinese sushi, and so that is a very good point to make. That I mean there are quite a lot of good contenders for the Roost Pro Scout build, and that's one of the reasons why it's one of the most popular builds currently. Um, and then yeah, House of Wisdom, Economy Wing, Growth. So a little bit different than last time, but then also the berry bushes not being depleted. So Warsp1te really looking for some extra food here on the berries. Nice in the back of his base as well. So plus you get a couple of villagers. So why
Yeah,
not?
I think that's a big difference. I mean, so in the first game on that we saw on Basin with the Ayyubids, they went reinforcement wing
Mm,
because they were against the Byzantines, and they were able to actually do some damage, keep the Byzantines from really responding to the fast castle play. But against the Rus, I mean, you're really not going to get any real value from those desert raiders. So Growth Wing seems to be much better choice in this situation for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like especially with the pro scout build, like yes, you could try and deny a little bit of the pro scouts with the desert raiders, but yeah, it's probably not gonna be super effective. And then everything else is like underneath the TC. Roost doesn't need to go on gold. It doesn't care about the berries. Doesn't need to be on stone if it doesn't want to have a second TC soon. Woodline will be safe with a wooden fortress, and so yeah, it's not a good way of attacking your opponent. Which is also like one of the reasons why I love this game so much, is because like even if it's the same Civ, you have to play it completely different just depending on the matchup you face. And so yeah, definitely a good choice. Also, again, the 3 extra villages, a nice little boost here for the economy. So getting you
I
a
know we're
little bit of
saying
a...
this, but I see a couple desert raiders in the queue.
Huh.
Oh, there's the stable. Okay, so he is gonna do a little bit of feudal aggression here against the Rus. A little, I think, pro scouts denial is gonna be that option here.
Yeah, I think that's mainly what he's looking for, is to deny the pro scouts, because like yeah, as we mentioned, like in terms of finding damage here, like yes, you could try and torch down the hunting cabin, but other than that, it's not really like how do you attack this base? It's very condensed in one screen here, and food all under the town center. So, but yeah, looking gonna be interesting to see what he's gonna do with the desert raiders here. Trying to find the scouts.
He should be able to find the scouts here. Gonna find the one scout not carrying any deer, though.
Yeah, so he probably doesn't know about the other 2 scouts that already are carrying away some deer. So there's one scout luring away the desert raider, um, and then at the same time, like it is quite a lot of resources that he has to invest in order to save those deers from being taken. And so you know, like by patrolling here, he kind of like binds his forces, his military, not dealing a lot of damage here, except for yeah, trying to deny it. And we have some horsemen as a response to the desert raiders. So curious opener, a little bit different than I expected, but I like it. A lot of aggression so far.
Yeah, seeing some action. It's not just 2 players sitting back and going fast castle. They're out in the map. They're doing something here. But yeah, KnockKnock able to secure so much deer so far. Feels like Warsp1te in a lot of areas hasn't been super effective in stopping these scouts from bringing the deer back.
No,
It
not
is
really.
such a hard technique to deny, though. It's real tough. That's why it's popular right now. It's easier to do than do any counterplay towards it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's if you're trying to deny it, like especially if there's like multiple scouts there, like you can realistically only attack like one of them, and then like with a little bit of micro, you can just split them up, and then like eventually you drop the deer, and then you're faster than the camel rider and the desert raider, and then you don't really care that much about it anymore, and it's really hard to really deny it. And so yeah, we see with a little bit like slower timing than the previous Roost game. High Trade House coming up, safe
Yeah,
in the
both
back here.
players on a good castle timing here. Also got Castle Age coming in for Warsp1te, getting the
Dervish.
logistics wing.
It's interesting. We're gonna see some dervishes, so we're gonna be able to pick up the relics very fast, as well as we'll have an improved healing ability. So could look for a lot of like a strong Castle Age army push then, with like you know, with the help of the dervishes.
Yeah, I mean, you go logistics, you get those 3 dervish for free. You can scoop up like basically guaranteed 3 relics. Roos doesn't have much on the field to pressure, has some horsemen, but they're currently trying to defend the deer packs. So those relics should be open for the taking. And that's something to counteract the fact that your opponent has been able to secure so much deer.
Yeah.
And it'll actually, I mean, in the long term, work out in your favor. And then hopefully we'll start seeing a switch towards military from both these players. But we do have a raid coming into Warsp1te's base here.
Yeah.
And not much damage done, just a little idle time.
Yeah, I mean it's horsemen, it's not knights, so they don't deal a ton of damage to villagers, and they're also like kind of low health already. So this one desert raider will be able to deal with that if needed. Even though the horsemen, you know, like kind of like not really counter, of course, but at least they do damage, bonus damage against the desert raiders. So it's like yes, they have less damage because of the camel unease, but they also deal a little bit more damage. So it kind of evens itself out. Monastery here as well being dropped, so KnockKnock is definitely not gonna give away the relics for free, and the warrior monks also kind of fast as well on their feet, so on par with the dervish actually.
Well, the race is on. We do see those horsemen trying to guard that first relic, but Warsp1te's going to be there with enough desert raiders to actually just clean this up.
Yeah, the race is on, so there's a second relic, so right now, third actually, so Warsp1te on his way to have 3 relics at least, and then there's 2 on the side. This one's kind of safe behind the roost base, and then the warrior monk making his way over to this one here. So it will be a 3-2 split, so not too bad for the roost for sure.
Yeah, good job for KnockKnock to get those, get that monastery up early enough to make sure you can at least secure 2 of these. I mean, yeah, it's logistics swing. It's hard to deny Ayyubids from getting 3 relics with that.
Yeah.
KnockKnock doing a good job to at least keep it to 3.
Yeah,
and I hope I don't curse him out. I'm taking a look at the dots on the mini-map. That the warrior monk might be caught out, potentially.
Yeah, it is. I mean, of course, it is a little bit slower due to the carrying the massive relic here, but at the same time, it should be fine. He's close. He's kind of close to his base, and yeah, so will be safe here. So yeah, 2-3 split, nothing too crazy, and then they could look for the sacred sites if they wanted to, or just mass up their army and then push a little bit. Interesting composition here for the roost. So again, horse archers and as well as horsemen. So yeah, I don't know. Like
no answer to the camel lancers, but a decent answer to everything else on the field. And I mean, if KnockKnock is just able to get a bigger mass of those horse archers, you'd be in a strong position here.
Yeah, I mean,
adding some spears behind as well.
The things in terms of mobility, I love this comp more than anything. And as a Mongol main, like cavalry is, you know, like the lifeblood of your army, but at the same time, due to the camels, it just feels so bad to have just camels alone and like not mix in some crossbows, not have some archers, maybe some spearmen, or just go for men at arms if you don't want to have if you want to have something tanky in the front. That's like Rus also have men at arms, so like you could also go for that instead.
Yeah, we'll see how it pays off for him. KnockKnock is committed to it, though.
Yeah, like,
add the numbers.
I was gonna add, you know, it's like they clearly know what they're doing. Like they are on a very high level, and yeah, clearly know what they're doing. Have probably played this matchup like 100 times already, and so like I'm not. You know, I'm not advising them, I'm just saying like what I would prefer, but then again, like I'm not on their level, so as long as it works, like you keep doing you, and we're gonna see if it actually works out or not. the Great Wall of China here being built basically on the left side of the map.
Massive Bruce wall.
It's like
Goodness.
this part of the map is now mine.
It's such a weird. What does it even get?
Well, I mean,
Like,
the thing is,
why that is just protection? Because it doesn't get the neutral market, doesn't get that large gold vein.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, if it's like in front of the market, then you could at least argue that it is, you know, to prepare for trade line. But like the way it is, it doesn't. Like, yeah, it protects the wood line here. You can drop like 3 hunting cabins, and then you get like 2 golds and a stone. But other than that, it's a curious choice. Let's put it this way. I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out.
It's a lot of wood.
A lot of wood for sure, yeah.
Camel Lancers though pushing the horse archers back almost into a corner. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're able to escape off the side, but looked like they might have got trapped in a corner for a second.
Yeah, that was a close call for sure. And again, like the damage the damage decrease you get from the camel unease is just so annoying. And now we have a switch into man-at-arms spearmen, and so we still have quite a lot of horse archers in the mix as well. And I mean, like, you know, to be fair, like, as much as I keep shitting on them, like, they are dirt cheap in terms of like what they provide. And so it does make sense to go for them. Like, I mean, I personally think they're way too cheap. Like, you know, if you compare them to, for example, Mangodai, they cost gold as well. Like, they only cost food and wood. And so if you're on a food-heavy comp, maybe don't have a whole lot of wood to spend, well, then it's definitely a clear choice to go for.
Yeah, and we'll see how effective they are now that Warsp1te has broken through that palisade wall. Horse archers looking for the right angle to engage here as the spears and men-at-arms get pushed back into the base. Horse archers coming in on the left side, spears going down the middle. There are enough archers though in the back to start picking off those spears.
Yeah, so the archers.
It's a dance back and forth, and trying to get the spears onto the camel lancers, but away from the archers. And now, KnockKnock committing fully to this engagement, not backing down. I say that as he starts to back down and take casualties. But right as I was saying that, he was committing to the fight.
It's kind of like Caster's curse. It's like he's backing down. No, he's not. Oh, he's backing up. Oh, wait, I mean. But yeah, I mean, in general, like, Warsp1te getting ahead a little bit here in this fight, killed a lot more, like, destroyed more value at least. Army numbers still fine, still in favor. Army value still in favor. I think crossbows are a great mix here, being able to deal quite effectively with the man-at-arms that now KnockKnock is spamming. KnockKnock does have one stable, so not too much in terms of, you know, that he could switch into knights. And so for the time being, crossbows are incredibly good asset here in the Ayyubid army. Also is able to take the third side as we speak, so we'll have 3 sacred sides for now.
Yeah, Warsp1te in a strong position for sure. Good call, like you were saying, on that switch into crossbows, especially with the men-at-arms. KnockKnock still trying to make horse archers work. You'd see a lot more in the queue, but I just really don't know how effective they're going to be at this point. Looking for a raid, though.
Yeah,
Gonna find some villagers here.
He did find a lot of villagers actually, because they're not gonna fit into that outpost here, and so he will find a lot of villager kills. That is good. That's definitely gonna help him, although Ayyubids is on 2 TCs already, and so it's basically just gonna be a drop in the bucket. And at the same time, we do have Warsp1te really walking into the base here and trying to close out the game with mainly ranged units here as well. Just a couple of Desert Raiders still, or Lancers actually. camel lancers here as well as with a lot of crossbows, archers.
Yeah, and those units, as they get produced, just running right into the camel lancers. See a lot of vills getting eaten up as well. And the question is, where is the army? There it is back there. What's the army count right now for KnockKnock? It seems pretty low. I mean, it's you got the men-at-arms here, but they're just chasing around Ayyubid crossbowmen. And they're gonna retreat and kite back into the farmland here. Some vills go down. Men-at-arms may eventually be able to overwhelm and clear this up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 50-50 archers, crossbows. So the man-at-arms now finally being able to you know, like survive. And so KnockKnock being able to clean this onslaught here. At the same time, okay, so villager kills is pretty even right now. Ayyubids still ahead because, I mean, while Roos is also on 2 TCs, Ayyubids has been there for a lot longer, and also had like the small buff because of the economic wing. So not. Well, I mean, what's the game state right now? It's kind of difficult for me to tell actually, like who's ahead right now, because KnockKnock is holding, but Ayyubids does have quite a few things that are in favor for them right now.
Yeah, KnockKnock doing a good job holding, as we saw earlier. Able to have more military on the field, but you see a little tower drop from there from the Ayyubids, gonna force those Roos vills off of berries. KnockKnock's either gonna have to clean that up or go somewhere else. See the army moving over, maybe thinking about decapping that sacred site. He deals with this outpost right now.
Yeah, also a little bit of a raid here coming in from Warsp1te on the right side. Is gonna be found out by the wooden fortress, but at the same time will find a couple kills with the desert. Oh, not the desert, the lancers here, camel lancers. And so this is gonna be a blow again to the Roos eco.
It's gonna be a slaughter under that wooden fortress. There's no reinforcements there to help right now with those camel lancers. I see horse archers moving over, but they're not gonna do too much into that mass. And yeah, Warsp1te able to pick up a lot more in the way of vill kills here. KnockKnock idling out most of his villagers. I think there's only 10 working.
Yeah,
He idle out of 50 for a second.
Yeah, and like even now it's still like half of them almost idle, and so trying to close the gap here, but on his way back, Warsp1te is able to kill some more villagers here. And so just like 2 minutes ago it was even, and now it's like 2-1 in terms of villager kills. So KnockKnock's eco got quite dealt quite a heavy blow actually here, in terms of villager kills, and you can tell by the eco if you look at the resources per minute. This is not looking too good for Roos at the moment.
No, not at all. Still has military to defend, but I mean, Warsp1te is just going to continue his eco advantage. 3 relics, 2 sites, and the big difference in villagers there. Really going to help him out. You see push coming in now onto that giant palisade wall. See archers trading shots over the wall. But Warsp1te should be able to burn that down. You know, as soon as he moves over units that have torches, that should start going down.
Yeah, it's like it's death by 1,000 needles here currently, and Dervish are not really helping there as well. So it's gonna take just 2 more minutes at this rate of this speed here.
Through now. KnockKnock getting ready for a big defense here. It's going to be crossbows, men-at-arms, and horse archers versus a pretty big mix from the Ayyubids. You see a couple Camel Lancers also trying to sneak in the back. The gate is down though in the front, so waiting to see if Warsp1te commits to moving in or what the play is going to be. And it's Horseman looking to jump in on some Vills.
Yeah, he is finding the Vills again, so it worked before, so why not do it again? And you know that your opponent is hurting on food if he's going on the berries, like on this stage. I mean, like they are like enhanced because of there was a mill here by the Ayyubids, so it is kind of nice for the Roost to take it. But at the same time, it's just berries, and so as the Roost, you don't really like love berries too much. You would love to be here on deer, but that's quite difficult to actually pull off if you're getting hit at from multiple angles here.
Warsp1te looking to take down that other palisade wall, even though he's got those Camel Lancers in the base of KnockKnock, and it's going to come down to KnockKnock's defense here. He still has more military, but he's falling so far behind on eco that he's really got to make something work here. Like a defend and a counter push is really his only option at this point.
Yeah, he is looking for a counter raid here with the horse archers, and this is something where they really shine actually. Just moving quickly into the opponent's base, getting a couple hits in, and then just retreating again. So this is gonna be quite effective here for him. And so that's, yeah, I like this raid here, but is it gonna be enough? That's the question, because again, like villager kills is like 2-1 currently still.
Yep, and villager count is pretty crazy as well, but there's a gap in the wall. The first archers will get through.
Will it get out though? Okay, almost one-shotting here the villagers. But just barely, not enough to do more than a couple villagers here, and so he's gonna lose his little raiding party here. Meanwhile, Ayyubids went on the stone on the left side of the map, so all this wall, and yeah, it just didn't really like prevent your opponent from even taking this one stone here.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty crazy wall when it comes down to it. And Ayyubids moving out to take that giant gold, get a keep down. Still doesn't have the military numbers anyway that KnockKnock does, although the units are a little bit better. So the question is, what is Warsp1te's plan? Is he gonna try to come in again? It looks like KnockKnock though is pushing out, gonna find those keeps, gonna find those pockets of army. But KnockKnock has a severely immobile army. And he sees what Warsp1te has, and he's like, I don't want any of this. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Let's go next.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like you could tell, like the moment he forfeited the game was when Warsp1te did reach Imperial Age, and then it's kind of like, you know, that he has like pretty much your army size and your army value, but he's ahead in 1H, and so it's just a matter of a couple minutes of getting his upgrades, and then he will just kick your ass. And so I do understand that situation. Like sometimes it is a better call to just, you know, FF the game and just, you know, go next, GG next.